Have you ever wondered how the concept of monarchy came into existence? The dawn of monarchy can be traced back to the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia, with the reign of Sargon of Akkad. Sargon, the earliest known monarch, harnessed the power of tribal leadership structures to create his empire. Now let's take a step back. In the beginning, human societies were largely organized into tribes led by tribal chiefs. As these tribes grew and expanded, the need for a more centralized form of governance emerged. This led to the birth of monarchy, a system where power was concentrated in the hands of one individual or family, often justified by religious or philosophical beliefs. The monarchs were seen as divine beings or chosen by the gods, providing them with a certain legitimacy to rule. From the tribal chiefs of primitive societies to the divine kings of the early civilizations, monarchy has truly come a long way. From these humble beginnings, monarchies would go on to shape the course of human history. As time progressed, so did the role and influence of monarchs. The Middle Ages, a period spanning from the 5th to the 15th century, saw the rise of powerful leaders who wielded extraordinary authority. Monarchs became the indisputable rulers of their realms, with their power often passed down through generations in a practice known as hereditary succession. One of the most notable monarchs of this era was Charlemagne, the king of the Franks and Lombards, later crowned emperor of the Romans. His reign marked a turning point in European history, as he united much of Western Europe for the first time since the fall of the Roman Empire. As we journey further into the Middle Ages, we encounter William the Conqueror, the first Norman king of England. His victory at the Battle of Hastings in 1066 and subsequent rule laid the groundwork for modern English monarchy. The Middle Ages set the stage for some of the most powerful and influential monarchies in history. The Middle Ages gave way to the age of absolute monarchs, where rulers held supreme authority. In this era, the likes of Louis XIV of France and Peter the Great of Russia emerged, reshaping their nations with an iron fist. Louis, famously known as the Sun King, transformed France into a centralized state, diminishing the power of the nobility and establishing absolute monarchy as the main form of governance. Across the continent, Peter the Great blazed a similar trail in Russia. He modernized the Russian army, expanded his empire, and reduced the influence of the nobility, all while maintaining absolute control. These monarchs, in their quest for absolute power, often left the nobility in the dust, centralizing state power like never before. However, as history would have it, no power is absolute. These absolute monarchs left a lasting legacy, but their power would not go unchallenged. In the face of Enlightenment thinking and revolutionary ideals, the power of monarchs began to wane. As the 18th and 19th centuries dawned, the world was primed for change. The Age of Enlightenment brought with it revolutionary ideas about democracy and human rights, setting the stage for monumental shifts in political power. The American Revolution, fueled by a desire for self-governance and freedom from British rule, sparked a global trend. The French Revolution followed suit, overthrowing the monarchy in favor of a republic. These weren't isolated incidences, but part of a larger pattern of people demanding more say in their governance. In response to these societal shifts, many countries transitioned from absolute monarchies to constitutional ones, where the power of the monarch was limited by law. This was a significant shift, but it did not mean the end of monarchy. While the power of monarchs declined, their influence can still be seen in many parts of the world today. Despite the shifts in power and politics, the institution of monarchy persists in the modern world. Today, monarchs like Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom and King Salman of Saudi Arabia continue to hold significant roles in their respective nations. Queen Elizabeth, the longest reigning current monarch, symbolizes continuity and tradition, while King Salman wields extensive powers in a nation that remains an absolute monarchy. These two examples illustrate the spectrum of modern monarchies. On one end, we have constitutional monarchies like the United Kingdom, where the monarch's role is largely ceremonial, serving as a unifying figurehead. On the other end, we find absolute monarchies like Saudi Arabia, where the monarch retains significant political power. Yet, regardless of the extent of their power, these monarchs continue to influence their nation's identities and global relations. From ancient times to the present day, the institution of monarchy has played a pivotal role in shaping our world.